Oh, you don't normally
I don't do it.
start it. Can you do
Welcome
it?
back to the YoungBucks Podcast, episode 99. I am Chris Deering, and I'm here with a very, very, very special guest. I'm here with brother Henry Deering and
we back.
his girlfriend. Oh, wait, no. What's that shining on the video? This is Henry's girlfriend, Belle, newly fiance.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the podcast, Belle. It's great to have you.
Oh, it is so great to be here. This has been a long time coming.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have been expecting it. I think it's a great time to have you. Recently engaged,
Very
recently
timely.
back from New York.
Yes, we
Yeah.
have to go to New York engaged.
That's why I was not on the show last week.
Yes, Henry was gone, and then the podcast prior to that was the day he engaged her.
Yeah. So we could have talked about it, but I didn't have a good feeling about that for some reason.
That's okay.
I would rather talk about it after it's done than before it
So
was done.
I want both sides. Like, what was your thoughts? Like, not necessarily thoughts, but like Henry had a completely different 2 weeks leading up to
Right.
getting engaged rather
I
than
did.
your 2 weeks to getting engaged because you had no idea.
No, I didn't. Well, like I knew we were getting engaged at some point soon.
Okay.
So, like, kind of every weekend leading up to this, I was like, "Ooh, could it be this weekend?" I'm like, every weekend when I would leave work, the girls would be like, "Ooh, Belle, hope it's this weekend," and I was like, "Same," but, but okay,
Shout
we
at
were
you.
going to New York like the next week, so I was like, okay, it's probably not going to be this weekend because all the girls were like, it's going to be in New York, obviously, Belle, like he's been waiting for this. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So, but I still, dressed nice because I'm like, if we, take picture. Also, the pressure to like have my nails done and like dress cute every time we went out. I'm so happy that I don't have to do that anymore. Like, not that I don't want to dress nice a lot of the time, but like sometimes I just want to wear like a really baggy sweatshirt, leggings, today. And I could not do that on any of our dates for like I'm always like, okay, gotta dress nice just in case.
Oh.
And it was
man.
cold, so it was like, does it look good with my coat? These are all the things I had to worry about. Obviously, getting the ring was like a little bit bigger of a deal, but
So
Slightly.
was there any dates you were like, I hope it's not this one? Like, were you ever like
no.
there wasn't one?
I don't think so. I also would think like sometimes when I would go hang out with one of my friends, I was like, maybe he'll just show up. So I would be like hanging out with my friends, like I need to look cute. Like I was way overthinking this, obviously. But I feel like girls just like, it's not just me. Like girls are seriously like detectives trying to figure out when they're getting
Right.
engaged. So it was perfect though because I actually was surprised. So Henry can tell the whole story because he like has all the background, whatever. But I was genuinely like shocked. Like I quite literally could not believe it for like probably like at least a half hour. Also, the entire week after, I genuinely could not believe it. Like every time I would tell people, I'm like, yeah, I'm still pretty shocked.
I mean,
but
yeah, you're blinding some people on the camera. Dude.
I am. It's like at church today. There's so many lights at church, and I just have to stare at it like the whole time. So sorry, but
Good work. Good
Yeah,
work.
Yeah. The colors are uncontrollable sometimes.
Mhm.
I guess I'll preface. We've been dating for over 3 years now, and
we're high school sweethearts. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
incredibly iconic, very iconic couple. So I just want you guys to know that.
Yeah, it's been a cool journey so far, and we've mentioned her a few times on the podcast.
Not as much as I would like to be mentioned,
Yeah.
but
She brought us coffee.
Oh yeah, that's true. She
some of
did.
the most energetic podcasts were sponsored by me. You're welcome.
Yeah, I do remember that.
This is the
And
face of our what was she?
coffee plug.
Social media manager.
Oh yes, when any time a social media manager was mentioned, that was me. So
And one of the two of me and Chris was the reason she quit that, and it wasn't me. So.
yeah, it was a very short job. Don't worry, I got another one, but yeah, no longer. I'm just Henry's fiance, soon to be wife now, and it's fine. I'll pop on the podcast sometimes.
Anyways, yeah. So I mean, we started dating at the end of our senior year of high school, and all this time of being like growing as adults, and the entire existence of this podcast, we've been dating.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm. So just a few stats for everybody at home.
Yeah, just for anybody
All
who
that are
doesn't know.
following along.
What was the question at hand?
How did we get engaged?
Like
Oh.
what was the process?
You're-
Like you're leading up because you had some stressful nights 2 weeks. You had
Right,
some not so
right,
stressful
right.
nights.
I mean, if somebody asked me like, what's the most important factor of a good relationship, it's communication. And I think we probably over communicate like than what like the average would be. But
our communication's pretty good, but not
yeah.
for the last couple weeks because it was a secret, obviously.
Yeah. But I say that to say we have talked about like, well, what would the timeline of being married be like, or like what like works for like the life that we want to build together. So like we're constantly talking about like the future, and obviously with that there's like getting married and the timeline and like the date. So like I knew that she knew that like it was coming soon. Or like
I did not make it easy either. I'm very bad at getting surprised, and I'd constantly be like, so like when are we gonna when are we gonna get married, like do you have any secrets to tell me, like all probably so annoying, honestly.
Wait,
Yeah.
you like said, is there any secrets you're not telling me, like probably once a week?
Oh, probably more.
I mean, but even
Probably more.
Oh my goodness.
but since we started dating, that's been like do you have any secret, like like a conversation starter, like is there anything you're thinking about that they haven't told me? So like it's not like it was like never occurred and then all of a sudden like this time frame rolls around and like I'm like, why is she being like this? So it's been a thing to ask that, so that wasn't like new. But sorry, I had a train of thought before that.
How, like, your background of it, and I keep interrupting you.
Right.
But that's what makes a good podcast.
Man,
you started talking communication.
Yeah, but then you asked me another question about like
the leading up to it. Stressful nights, not stressful nights. Like,
oh yeah, so like at the beginning of the year is when I really started thinking about it. But like work is the main thing I would say that was like the difference maker. Like when this starts happening, is how good is work going and like what does that look like. So once I had like I had a plan for work this year, and that has been going according to plan. So once like I hit my goals in February, I started like asking, like I wanted to ask her parents, and that took me a minute to like get that going. That was the longest part of the process.
There you go.
To be honest, like I have no shame in saying that. Like it took me a minute to like get that ball rolling, but like once we sat down and had that conversation, that was really good. Everything went good and smooth with that, and then was able and blessed to find a ring, which I guess I didn't realize gold is like not common to find.
No, I went and tried on rings with my mom. That I feel like that's a pretty common thing to do, and they were all silver. So like I couldn't honestly, like I genuinely was so shocked when he gave me the ring because I just hadn't really got to see like what a gold ring would look like, and I don't think they're like as popular as they used to be. So
yeah, because your grandma was saying like it's interesting, like it was like gold was in, and then white gold, and then gold, like it, like they change, like the popularity or trends of things change, of like what a majority of people want, and then like versus what does a jeweler carry. So really, like going to the jeweler that I found this at, she had to go back to the back to like get that one. Like there was like only a few gold rings out there, and I knew that's what she wanted. And the first place I went to, it was like you could get this done in like 4 to 5 weeks, and I was like just jaw to the floor. I was like, I can't wait that long. Like I was planning on doing this like next week. And then I was like, well shoot, like did I blow all this up? Like am I really gonna have to wait like a few more months to like really do this?
Oof.
And
that would have been tough.
So I called your mom actually, and she was like, that doesn't sound right. So then I went to another jeweler, and they were like, yeah, we could have this done like tomorrow or the next day. And I was like, okay, this like, not that
this is epic.
Speed is not always everything, but if it's still quality, it's meaningful.
Yeah, of course.
So I was like, okay, let's go. And I found a great ring, a great diamond. My mom, her mom came and checked it out. They both thought it was great. And
it's a 10 out of 10 ring. Like seriously, everybody's obsessed with it, especially me, obviously. But
yeah,
like,
I love it.
That's a good thing.
I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I bought it on a Saturday, and I picked it up on that next Thursday, and I think I carried it around with me everywhere I went, just because I was like, it was very fulfilling to be able to like, I don't know, like it's just a cool thing to.
It was like talk about waiting that 5 weeks. Now, he picked it up on Wednesday, and it was like he thought he was gonna go over to your house and just like ask you then and there. Like it was very much so a possibility.
Yeah, I didn't want to hold on to it very long, and I also didn't want like it to be. I wanted it to be a surprise, so I didn't want it to be like a, hey, do you want to go out this weekend and like do this, this, and this? And actually, what's crazy is you plan.
Like the week before, I had called Henry, or week before? Was it the week before?
I think so.
I had called Henry, like, I don't know, I think it was like Sunday night, and I was like, hey, like, what's going on during this week? Like, when am I going to see you? And he was like, well, we'll go on a date on Saturday. So we try to go on a date, like, most weeks, I feel like. So I was like, okay, great. Like, do you want to do, we went and got coffee. One of our favorite coffee shops closed, but that's where we got coffee.
And it was the last day that they were
It was the
open.
last time we got coffee.
It's such a special day.
Perfect, but honestly sadness that they're closed. Anyways, great. And then we just like went to dinner at one of our favorite places, like in one of our favorite towns. Like we go there a lot. It was very much like an us date, and nothing was out of the ordinary. Henry was so chill, like you cannot understand how chill he was. Very much like himself, not at all giving like a little bit nervous. There had been one other date we went on, I can't remember exactly which one, but you must have been hungry or something, or like when Henry's thinking a lot, he doesn't talk a lot. And I was like, oh, it's probably today because he's acting a little weird. But he did not act weird at all on this date. So there was nothing telling me like, okay, it's going to be today, like type of thing.
Actually, the opposite.
Yeah, he was so chill. Like just normal.
Didn't you type something up in your phone?
Oh, I did type something on my phone. Yeah, this is kind of embarrassing. So I had a notes app where like different, I don't know, sometimes I would like type different things into it, different thoughts I was having. And that night when we like had gone to get dessert, I was like, it knew that was kind of like towards the end of the night, like we were going to be heading back home soon, and he was like running to the bathroom or whatever. So I was like typing on my phone. I'm like, well, it's definitely not going to be tonight. Pretty disappointing, but I guess it's okay.
Like journal entries for each date.
Yes, like I'm like, not today. Hopefully, whenever. And I was like, guess I'm gonna have to dress cute every day in New York City. So I was a little bit salty about that. Apparently.
Yeah, it was it would have been pretty bad if it wasn't that day for me.
Probably.
But
Sorry.
hey, it's not. It wasn't. You guys,
Hey,
you
it
got
was
engaged.
perfect.
It was
Okay.
a great day.
So we went on our coffee date. It rained, so we like drove around and like looked at these like really pretty neighborhoods, and just like talked. And then we went to dinner at our favorite spot, and we got the best dinner. Literally so good. And then we walked around the town, and then we went and got dessert, and then you can tell it from there.
Yeah, so when I got to her house that day, actually, it's springtime, and so it's not like super cold, but it was like kind of windy, and like we had like she had made it a point to like wear jeans. Like I don't always wear jeans or really very much wear jeans.
But I love when Henry wears jeans. And the night before, I was like, "Can you please wear jeans? Like I really want you to."
Very funny. I was listening to that phone call because
So,
Henry had
yeah.
it on speaker. Henry and I share a room. If you guys didn't know, same room, 2 beds.
Just in case you weren't aware, if you're new here.
And time is ticking on that now.
Yes. Thankfully.
Anyways, so she made it fine to like dress nicer, like for like the photo and the video that I got of us getting engaged, and so that was nice. But then when I got to her house, she was still upstairs, and I went to her mom. I was like, I don't know where I'm gonna put this box because it's like if it's so obvious in the jeans pocket. And so she was like, oh, I could just say like it's really windy outside, you guys should wear wind jackets. So we had wind jackets.
I've never heard this part.
Yeah, that happened.
That's why she said to take jackets.
I swear we talked about this at your house. After.
I thought we did too.
I was not on the same planet as everybody else at that time.
It's very true.
So, yeah.
So then I was like, okay, sweet. So we had that, and one of my goals was to like get a few pictures of the ring and her without her knowing throughout the day, just so I could have like a few of them. I did get one, which was really good. It was actually on video. We got Girl Scout cookies, and she wanted to vlog a little bit of the day, so we had the camera out, and she was like looking at the cookie box, talking about it, and I like had the ring behind her, like while we were in the front seat of the car, and like so that was pretty funny. But then
It was very iconic.
I tried another one
Super
when we
iconic.
were leaving, and when we left the coffee shop that we went to, because she had gotten in the passenger seat, and I opened up the box to like take a picture, but I was just so nervous she was going to turn around, And so I didn't want to close the box to make it loud. So the box was open in my backpack, like in the front pocket. So like
What?
it couldn't move around. So like it wasn't like in a backpack where like you shake around the backpack, but so like
Dude.
Is that what? Were you nervous?
I'll get to that. I knew it was fine in the space that it was in, but I was just so like I was like kind of nervous and kind of mad that I couldn't just close it. And there were a few times throughout the night where you asked me, and I was just like, yeah, I'm hungry. But like I was thinking about the box just being open, and I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, why did I just leave the box open?
Oh my gosh! In the car, it was just like in.
But
so
it was
like,
in my backpack. It was in my backpack in like a tiny pocket in the front. So like the ring box fit in there. So like there was no damage. It wasn't gonna move around a bunch.
Was it like at dinner when I asked like, "Are you hungry?"
Yeah.
And you were like, "Yeah, I'm really hungry."
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
really funny. I did not know that.
And so like I kind of wanted to, but I didn't want to do anything uncharacteristic. Like, oh, I should go back out to the car, or like, or even when like I didn't want to like play around with my backpack too much when we were getting out of the car. So I was just like, man, I'm a goner. It's just got to stay open. And then,
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
so that was like from the time we left that coffee shop, like driving around through all those neighborhoods, going
Oh
to
my
dinner,
gosh.
and I was like, why,
Walking around.
yeah,
Like, did you close it when you got the rain jackets out of the car?
no,
It was still open.
Would have
It
been a
was
great
open
idea
the
to do that then.
but you were
I was
always
in-
there.
I got in the car,
She was
too.
always there. So
I think I walked away sooner, maybe, but like, yeah, wow. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I would not like surprising me was probably the hardest thing.
But like I stayed stone cold the whole day on my face, like
Stone cold.
But like
Mm-hmm.
like
the
as
Blazing
far as
Tails.
nerves and annoyance, or like just kind of all the emotions I had towards myself of like, why you idiot, you fool. But no, it was I knew the ring was fine though, fine enough. And then we had dinner.
Yep.
We walked around, whatever, and so then we walk out to the car from dessert because I wanted it to be dark outside because this park has a gazebo. It's got backyard lights all around it, so like it's super lit up in there. And
It's lit up in there.
Very lit.
because we've taken pictures there before, and so like I was like, oh, we could just take pictures there again. And since we had nice outfits on, so like I had all these like dots connecting to where like it made sense to go do this.
And I had asked you to bring the camera the week before.
Yeah.
I was like, let's start vlogging like we used to. Like, can you please bring your nice camera? So
Yeah.
That-
So
I was very unaware. I was just like, oh yeah, like pictures.
everything was like falling into place, honestly.
It was perfect.
When we went
Lord's
to
hand.
go walk up there to take the pictures, also Henry did not hold my hand. Like generally, I feel like we hold hands most of the time when we're like walking, especially on a date. And so I was like, okay, well, it's definitely not going to be now because he's not even like really paying attention to me. Like I'm like, he's just going up here, get the pictures, like whatever.
But what happened before that was we walked from dessert, right? And she said, let's take our jackets off before we go take the pictures so that like there's not like a jacket over the shirts that we're wearing. So I was like, oh, so the whole plot to have the jacket was therefore irrelevant because she just asked us to put them back in the car. So I was like, I can't say anything now because like that's a valid point for the pictures to like look good and not have jackets on. And I was like, okay. So then I throw the jackets in the car. And while I'm getting the camera, I like just look at the ring box in my hand, like knowing that I already like tried it on with the jeans and it just sticks out, and saying it's a fidget cube wasn't going to work.
A fidget cube.
That was
Why?
on the table.
It was not.
Believe it or not, it was on the table.
Just my fidget cube in my pocket.
He walked out of his room. It was like, you guys see my fidget cube?
Oh my gosh.
So then I'm
Wow.
like, well, I might have to just send it. And I pocketed the ring in my back pocket of my jeans, and I closed the door to the car, and I look at her eyes, and I see her immediately look at my pockets and not see a ring box.
I did. I was like, wallet, phone, crap. Like,
And now
no
that
ring.
she was fine, like going up there and so, like
I
happy
was
to go take
nice.
pictures.
I told myself to be nice.
And so then we take the pictures or whatever, and I'm like, hey, do you want to like turn the video on for like the vlog we were doing? And then I was able to propose there.
Mm-hmm. It was so
Way to
literally
go.
perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah, so definitely a highlight moment for me.
We three are the only people to have seen and or been a part of the engagement.
Oh, yes. While we
I
were out
watched
of
the video.
town, Chris just helped himself to watching the video. So he has seen our engagement video, but nobody else has yet. Henry needs to, like, edit it. And the, what else? Oh, the vlog. Like, I want to
Yeah.
have, like, because we kind of vlogged the day and, like, all the things.
There's only 3 different video clips, though.
We have some on my phone, too.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it's not a crazy vlog, but it could be,
It's cute.
you know, overspoken about, or whatever that's called.
Oh, that would be fun.
Oh, like a voiceover.
Yeah.
So you guys, you've been engaged for 2 weeks now, right?
Oh, wow.
It's been 2 weeks. It's 14 days.
Yeah.
15 today. I guess technically 14, but
Who's
who's counting? Not us. So you have been to many weddings,
I have been to many weddings.
and you're also planning this one. You've done
Yeah.
a decent amount of like thinking / planning / that.
Yeah, girls just do. You know,
Right.
we have our Pinterest boards ready to go.
So how evident is it to you that neither Henry, mainly Henry, but also me, have never even been close to being a part of or seen anything that is wedding related?
Well, Henry's been to 4 weddings with me, actually.
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah, Henry's been to 4 weddings, you know, as my +1. So I've been trying to kind of like, you know, show him these things. My dad had never been to a wedding when him and my mom got married, and he was very confused. And I didn't want Henry to be very confused, you know. So I feel like he has a pretty good idea. But I am teaching, you know, Chris and Henry all the wedding, like, they're called like wedding manner type things. Like there's certain things that you're just like expected to do for weddings as far as like invitations and like all the, like you can only invite certain people to the shower based on who you're inviting to the wedding. Like I didn't know that before either.
Huh.
So yeah, but have you been to a single wedding before?
No, I've never been to a
my
wedding.
gosh, ours is gonna
This
be
will be
your
the first
first.
one. Yeah. I know.
okay.
I'm super excited.
Unless there's like a random one thrown in there before ours.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so nobody can get
Kyle.
married before us.
What?
Kyle? Kyle?
Kyle
Are
finds.
do you have a surprise for us?
No.
Sorry, Kyle. We love you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I've been to a lot more weddings than you guys. So it'll be interesting. But I feel like it's going to be good. It's going to be such like a cozy wedding. I'm so excited.
I am excited as well, Henry.
Yeah, I mean, we've already had the pleasure of having a few conversations where it's very evident one of us is very experienced in the wedding thinking field and one of us is not.
Can we tell my favorite story so far? The suit story.
The suit story.
Of course.
Yeah.
Have you heard this story yet?
I don't believe I have.
Normally, we talk to Chris quite a bit throughout the week, and
It's
we've been
been
gone.
So long since we've had. Besides today, we
Yeah.
haven't talked.
We haven't like caught up on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a very funny story. So last week, like maybe like 2 days after we had gotten engaged, me and Henry were talking, and I was like, oh babe, like I want to ask you something that like you can really be involved in with the wedding, like something that can really be your choice or whatever. So I was
I like to call this a trick question.
yeah, Henry feels like this is a trick question, which, you know, I do kind of get now, but I was genuinely trying to be nice in the moment. So I was like, what color suit do you like want to wear? Like I'm thinking, I already did have a thought in my head of what I wanted, but Henry said,
Yeah, I mean, so this is the first time I ever thought about this. And so, like, thinking in my mind, I have, like, a cool blue suit. And I was like, what if we just wore, like, navy blue suits? Obviously, we get a
Dude.
new one. But I was like, navy blue? That's a sharp color. Like,
Dude, like some dark navy blue suits, dude.
Yeah, like-
dude.
don't get too excited, because I give him the look of like,
yeah.
you have
Clearly,
got to be kidding
the
me.
second, like, the
Are you
last, like,
serious?
syllable of blue came out of my mouth, like, yeah, I just knew it was the wrong answer. So I was like, okay, wait. Because I think she may have either said or, like, it came back to my mind. Like, I was like, oh, you're right. Green was, like, one of the main colors you wanted to use. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I can see how, you know, navy blue and green don't necessarily go that
So
well
he
together.
proceeds to say, oh, I'll wear a green suit. Okay.
Yeah, after
Henry.
that, I was like, you know what?
Yeah. You
I
can
could
imagine
see-
my face at this
I was
point.
like, I could see a green blazer.
Like a dark green.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm here with you.
Chris is
so
just
you
on
know.
board for all these things. You can just
So
imagine
then-
my face is like, ugh,
Same,
jeez.
similar face. And then I'm like, you know what? You're right. Like, ditch the blazer. What if the green's like more of like a tie thing, like an assistant piece? So I was like, what about light gray? Light gray with a green tie?
I've seen it. I've seen it done before.
I think it could be done. I'm
At
imagining
the weddings
myself,
you've been to previously.
No, at banquet. At banquet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I've seen it done
and
before.
I was like, not bad. And then
He's thinking this is his best
this is
idea yet. Yeah.
third time's a charm.
And again,
And
It's
then
just like
after that,
utter
it's like, what about black?
yeah, I was like,
she said
have
that.
you thought about black? And he's like, oh, yeah. So,
Can I say, when you and my mom were talking about it a couple hours ago, before you said black, I like in my mind I was like, dude, a sharp navy blue suit would
Right?
look so
You know what I'm
good.
saying?
I
Okay.
almost brought it up to you. I was like, are we wearing navy blue?
here's the thing. If the colors were different, I would have thought like navy blue, yes, good. But I had already asked Henry, like, do you want to use blue or green as the color? And he was like, yeah, green's good. Like, I know you like that. So I'm like, blue and no, I'm sorry.
But at the
suits
time
will
of
be
navy
black,
blue,
thank
I
you.
was not thinking about the green.
Yeah. It was a really hard question for Henry. I've realized I need to give him multiple choice and not just like,
Yes. So we've both realized things about each other. Like now I'm like,
we're just learning more every day.
yeah. But it's good.
Yeah, it's
great.
Because she let me know. Well, like I realized, I was like, oh, she has so much thought about all these things, and she's coming to me with like all these thoughts, and I have none. So I had to like,
It's one of those, not asking for your opinion. I'm asking you to say what I
no,
want.
that, but
like,
also
guess what my answer is?
Yeah.
I had to be,
Yeah.
I had to be like, oh, that's what I should expect from her with every question. So then I had to be like, expect from me to be pretty stupid initially.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's okay. We're realizing like I've pretty much thought of every detail. Henry thought about getting the engagement ring, which is great.
That's really all he
That's
needs
kind
to
of-
be worried about.
That's kind of like that's the guy's thing, and the wedding is like the girl's thing. And I just think girls like are thinking about their wedding like their whole life, and
Yeah,
guys
true.
like it's just different. So it's fine, but it's funny. It's funny now. It's creating good stories, so it's fine.
I will
Yeah.
say one of the biggest things I've learned about Belle is like when we're in like a group and like she asks us all a question, she's really just asking it so she can give her answer so that we
Yeah.
can ask it back to her so she can give her answer.
And sometimes I have to ask myself because
Yes.
people don't get back to me. I'm like, okay.
Like the
Over
biggest
here,
one was
please.
when we were at coffee and you asked us our ideal Saturday.
Oh my gosh,
Like
guys.
you had to sit through
Chris
3
And you had to
Bible
sit through
Saturdays.
me and Henry's both and Livy's
and
too.
Livy's my sister, and then Livy and Chris gave the dumbest answers. Like a typical Saturday, my sister's like sit and do homework for a couple hours. Like I'm like, are you kidding me? Chris gives like just the dumbest. I think you maybe said like I would clean up the house. Like I'm like no. Your ideal Saturday. Like I was even thinking maybe like not even being in Michigan. Like, well, do people know we live in Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if that was like
We're
We're a
Michigan, baby.
Michigan-based
confidential,
podcast.
but like
Nothing.
they're giving the most
Nothing.
basic. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so yeah, I like to be asked the question back, please.
Yeah, that's her thing. That's one of the biggest
That's
things
my
I learned
thing.
about her.
Yeah.
One of my worst habits is putting my arm on the couch and then peeling off like the loose leather.
These couches.
Nobody's supposed to know about that.
Yeah, the leather is peeling a little bit.
But that's okay.
It's
was just a
fine.
little
They're
sidebar.
real comfy though.
These are comfy couches, but they're also super old couches.
They are, and Luke spends a lot of time back here, and
That's a nice way of putting it.
he
Yeah,
is
that's a great
little
way
bit
of putting
hard
it.
on the furniture, which is
Um,
fine. Boys
okay.
are just like that.
It's okay. It's who we are. So, your first week engaged though was spent in the Big Apple, the
No,
home of
no.
Times Square, the home of Madison Square Garden, where
you
we
do
see
this
the ball
once
drop
before?
every
This is the
single
beginning of last
year.
week's episode.
I want to say I listened to last week's podcast and Chris did this. I almost stopped listening because he said that. Like me and Henry were listening to it together on the drive home, and I looked at Henry and I was like, "Why?" And
So-
he just did it again.
I tried to like give it like an actual intro, like it was supposed to be for real, and then I like started speaking, and I was like, I have no idea what's in New York.
Can
like-
I say something real quick? You
Yeah.
know how I said I had a list of things to address with you guys?
Yes.
One just came to mind.
What's that?
Don't take this personally, please. Sometimes when you're talking, I cannot take you seriously. It happens with Henry too. If you're being serious, like I cannot take them seriously. I'm getting better at taking
It's
Henry
because
seriously.
she knows us personally.
But like I'm like, oh my gosh, like I
Right.
cannot. I can't take it seriously. It's because you guys joke a lot. So when you're like trying to be like all deep and whatever, I'm like, oh my gosh, like please take it back a notch. Like with Henry, it's more like when I'm talking to him in real life and he's like saying something really nice to me, sometimes I just laugh and I say, I'm so sorry because I believed what you're saying to me. But like and then when Chris is being serious on the podcast, like I know he's probably being so genuine, but I just can't take it seriously.
Notice how she didn't say Chris in real life.
Yeah, Chris in real life is not serious.
Because me and Val don't have a lot of serious conversations.
We do actually have some once a month.
Oh yeah.
Me and Chris have like a heart-to-heart conversation,
it's
but besides that, it's all very sarcastic.
All dog.
It is not all dog. I hate that
was
saying.
that another issue you wanted to address?
Yeah.
It's all dog.
Yeah, I hate that one
It cannot
too.
be all dog.
Not for me. For sure not for me. And it shouldn't be for anybody else either.
There's only one person it's all dog for.
Yes. Okay. Moving on. New York.
One situation. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Unique New York.
Oh, honestly.
What'd you say?
Unique New York.
Okay.
You know how like the unique New York
get,
unique.
like,
the enunciation.
I used to not be able to say New York. I'd say like New York or like I couldn't get it. Like I would say it like 10 times. I just cannot get it. New York is a great New York City. I encourage everybody to take a trip there. Like it is.
Oh, maybe we should go.
It is. We should go. It is so iconic. Like I'm not kidding. Everywhere you turn, there's a new iconic thing to look at, and iconic's my word for the year. Sorry.
Yeah, define iconic.
Like
in the New York
just these
sense.
incredible things. Times Square, the Empire State Building, like Central Park is there. Where the Knicks play, Madison Square Garden. Like we went on the subway, which is so fun and cool. Like
Sub.
I think me and Henry could live there for like a short amount of time. I wouldn't want to live there forever. Like I don't know how people live there forever because it is like kind of a stressful environment, but it is so cool. And they have everything you could ever want there. Like I'm not joking. Like every single food you could ever want, it's there. Like it is. Oh, it's such a cool place. I just love it there.
So no, like you were in Manhattan though, right?
Yes, we were in Manhattan.
Okay, and that's from what I've heard the nicer side of New York.
So Manhattan is like there's like different parts of Manhattan. There's like the Upper West Side, the Upper East Side. The Upper East Side I think is like not great. Brooklyn is like not ideal. I think those are like less safe. But we stayed in Chelsea. That's like part of Manhattan. There's like block parts of it's kind of confusing, honestly. We had to use a map to understand it. But
Like, did you get like a paper map?
well, somebody sent us like this thing where it like divided up Manhattan, like the Upper West
that's pretty
Side,
cool.
like Central Park, really cool. And the first night we went into the Empire State Building and looked out and saw everything.
Oh, like the
That
first night?
was the coolest thing ever. Yes.
I bet that was super cool.
It was so cool. What did you like?
Well,
Sorry,
yeah,
talking
highlights.
so
What
much.
did I like?
Give us some back and forth highlights.
I mean, the best part for me was the New York Knicks going to the Madison Square Garden to play the Pistons.
Oh, did you go?
Yeah,
Oh, nice, dude.
Did
Yeah.
you get a jersey?
I did.
Dude, you should put it on.
Oh.
Who said it? No, I didn't.
Oh.
Could you imagine I had it on? No, but that was really cool. I got a Jalen Brunson jersey. He's one of my favorite basketball players. And
Yeah.
we got to see a college teammate of Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo. He had 40 points in the game, and he made 11 threes. So it was a very electric performance from the whole team, but specifically him. And I really enjoyed it.
Madison Square Garden is literally so cool. Like I am just remembering I never let our photographer know she should go there. Sorry, she asked me to tell her.
Oh, if she should go there or not.
Anna, if you're listening to this, please go to Madison Square Garden. But
Your photographer you met on the side of the street? Your photographer for what?
we got our engagement pictures taken in New York.
Oh,
is that what
did
you're
you
trying-
hire like someone to do it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She was a friend, but she was hired.
Was she from New York?
Yes.
Okay.
She lives there.
She lives in
Yes.
New York.
Sorry, but
That makes sense.
I was supposed to tell her that like if she should go to a game or not.
Okay.
Anyways,
So
sorry.
you can just text her.
I
right?
will. Yeah, I'll text
Okay,
her.
nice.
Or
send her the link to the podcast.
I will send her. I'll be like, if you want to know if you should
Send her
go
this
watch
video.
this
Yeah,
podcast.
just send her the whole podcast.
I'm like, you should go to Madison Square Garden. And by the way, this is the best podcast I've
Yeah,
ever heard
there you
before.
go.
But okay, I'm not kidding, guys. Henry was like a little kid there. Like seriously, his smile was so big the whole night. It was the best thing ever. Like, I feel like it's a pretty cool place to go if you like basketball. Like, if you
Yeah.
love basketball, you should try to go there. It's so cool. Oh my gosh.
What?
We did not get a pin.
A pin?
No.
Pins are for your baseball stadiums, though, yeah?
But we get pins when we go to NBA places. We were supposed to do that.
We were gonna start that, but we didn't
Oh.
get one last year.
Because
But-
this is your second arena you've been
But like
to.
when we go to new arenas, because we've only gone to
One.
That's true.
Any-
You've only been
anyways.
to the one in Detroit.
No, but I was saying we didn't get a new one last spring break. One last spring break.
Oh, because we went to.
I guess
you
that
did
just
go to
means we'll
Golden
have to
State.
go back.
Whoops, had to go back
Yeah,
to
we've been
California
to-
and New York.
Yeah.
Okay, ideal place for next spring break. I know it's thinking ahead, but
I really want Henry to go to Greenville with me, Greenville, South Carolina, because the coffee scene there is so.
yeah, to introduce you to Belle, she's a big coffee. I know we introduced her as Henry's fiance, but she wants to own a coffee shop. She's a big coffee fanatic. Has made coffee for me. It's the only coffee I'll drink. And
Chris is very picky about his lattes, by the way.
yeah. I mean,
By coffee, we mean lattes.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Oh,
Lattes almost always.
right. See, I didn't even that didn't even register in my mind. That
It's
they were
beginning-
two different things.
Teams.
Like two different teams.
Two
Coffees
different
and
teams.
lattes.
Coffee and lattes.
Team coffee, team team coffee, team latte. Vote.
I mean,
Vote
it's like,
down below. Or-
I don't know, because coffee can mean like a different
This is
thing to like a
embarrassing.
bunch of people.
Coffee
to
what?
us, it means lattes, typically iced vanilla. I would also love
Sorry.
to go to Southern California with Henry. Like, I want to go there so bad. We have a lot of trips we
Los
want to take.
Angeles? 'Cause
Like
that's in
LA.
Southern-
Lakers.
Yeah, like LA,
Lakers?
like Orange County, like Santa Monica. Santa Monica's
San Diego.
the best place I've ever been.
I heard
San
San
Diego
Diego's
is
nice.
really cool, but I feel like that had to be a separate trip because it's like farther away.
Oh.
But yeah, I want to go to California so bad with Henry, like the southern part, because we've been to the northern part together, but they're just so different.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Anyways.
I would say both Madison Square Garden and kind of like to a different extent, but the same thing because we talked about it a little bit, was like surprisingly wholesome. Like
Yes.
at Madison Square
It was
Garden,
really surprising.
it wasn't very. I mean, nowadays everything is just so like over dramatic about like everything, like
Sure.
diversity, gender, whatever, like all that stuff as like extreme. But then even like, I don't know, everything's just like kind of. It's not about the stuff anymore. It's about like that equation of the stuff.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel that way there, and all the fans, like, I don't know. It's like, are fans really fans? But you could really tell that the Knicks fans there like loved the
Like,
Knicks.
They were so into it.
Every Pistons basket, the arena was silent. Like there was not. I kid you not. I feel like you could hear a pin drop if
Wow. So it wasn't silent for very long.
no.
Oh, it was just so cool because like every time they scored or like something exciting happened, everyone went crazy. Like, and it was so full in there because it's just not like that in Detroit. Like, so
No. I mean, we've won
you-
12 games.
yeah, like, but I feel like even if it was like Detroit is more like the city is different there, and I just feel like in New York, like it was so cool. I've never been to a game like that. Like,
That's
it was
awesome.
So it was so cool.
Yeah, and
Chris,
same
we'll
thing with
take
the
you
city.
We'll take you one day.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. I'm not saving up for it then.
Yeah, the same thing with the city. Like you would
Our
think,
treat.
like, oh, there's gonna be homeless people everywhere. There's not gonna be any nice buildings to go. Like, the places you go in, they're
Kind
gonna
of like a
feel-
dump. Like,
Yeah, like it's not very safe. Like not like clean.
And granted, we went to like I guess probably the touristy area, probably out of all
Some
of
of
New
them.
York.
the nice,
That's
the
probably
rich.
Yeah.
so. Like we didn't hit everything, but like as a whole, it was great.
And the area we're in, it was like you could kind of walk down any street and there's people at any time of day or night. Like, so you
We
you
walked
feel
through
safe
it.
because there's so many people around.
Yeah, we walked through Times Square at like 10:30 or 11 at night. Probably it felt like the middle of the day. It felt like the middle of the day with how
And it
many
was so
people were
bright, too,
out,
because of all
with
the
how
lights and
bright it
everything.
was.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, why does like, you know, like even driving around today, like everywhere's closed and it just kind of feels like a slower day. Like you can just tell like the vibes are,
Low vibe.
yeah, it's just a slow day. Everyone's taking it slow. So like you kind of feel like that, like, oh, I can kind of take today slow.
Looks lethargic.
But yeah, but like what I said, like but then when we were walking around, it's like, oh, I kind of feel like I have energy now, like, even though it's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. I think people get that in New York. Like, it's kind of like that hustle mentality almost. And it's like that. Like, there's a couple places it's like that. And I literally think people go there to live there for that purpose. Like,
Yeah, it did feel very inspiring to be there. And like, if I lived here, like, it would be cool to like see what it'd be like to work here.
and you walk everywhere. It's so fun. Like, we didn't get in our car for 3 days. Like, we walked or took the subway everywhere. It's so
Nice.
fun. Like, you can get somewhere that would take like an hour to get to. You can get there like 15 minutes on the subway because
Wow.
like it's just underground. It's so cool. It's so
Yeah.
fun.
It seems like a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nice,
Yeah.
guys. I'm really happy you got to experience that.
It was
Yeah.
so
New
cool.
York, getting out of Michigan, you know, finding yourself, seeing
We
new places
really
you guys
found
could live.
ourselves. We want to
Yeah.
move everywhere that we visit. It's actually a problem.
You guys seem to find great vacation spots. Shout out to your mom.
Shout out to Wendy. She
Yeah,
is a
very
queen.
thankful to be able to go.
Yeah,
It's a privilege. It's a privilege.
it's so fun.
Yeah, so that's cool. Today's Easter.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter. Happy Resurrection Day. It's a great day today. It's a great Sunday.
Easter is honestly one of the best days of the year. Every time.
I've loved Easter. Easter's a nice day. Henry, thoughts?
It's cool. I kind of forgot it was Easter this morning. Like, not by like, oh, I didn't realize, like, by my behavior.
Yeah.
I was a little.
He needed a behavior check when he found
Attitude
me
adjustment.
at church. Yeah, I looked at him. I was like, "Are you like good right now?" Like, I sat down. He's like, "You look nice this morning." I'm like, "Okay." Like, and
All
I
right,
was like, "Are
let's
you
switch it.
okay?" And he was like, "Yeah, I don't think I woke up on the right side of the bed." I was like, "Yeah, I don't think so." And he was like, "It's always when you're hungry." He was like, "I'm really hungry."
I woke up starving. I didn't have time to make a real meal, and I had to settle for like this stupid like half sub bun toasted with peanut butter and honey.
Doesn't
to,
that
like,
sound awful?
So it was
No
terrible.
wonder he
It
was
the
upset when
worst
he got
thing
to
I've
church
ever
this
ate.
morning.
I was so mad.
It was
When he described that to me, I kind of instantly felt like, you know what? If you're mad, it's okay. Like, if I ate that for breakfast, I would also be so mad.
Yeah, I was pretty annoyed, and
He
I was
flipped
like,
it around really quickly, though.
yeah, I did, and
Yeah.
like, also like I mean, both of us, like, I don't know about you, Chris, but like, I have crazy sinuses right now.
I'm
like,
good, dude.
My
Do you
face
ever
is-
struggle with like sinus problems?
Maybe like for 2 weeks every year, like
you are so
1 week at a
lucky.
time. Like it'll be like when it turns springtime, and then like when it turns from fall to winter, or like winter to summer.
That is so unfair.
I don't know, because like I'm not that nasally and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, that's good for you. But
So like, cause she's like, after we had been talking for a little bit, she's like, yeah, when you told me I looked nice, you were like, you look nice, and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that. Like, I think like I was like, my resting face is kind of irritated just because I'm not trying to be, and I'm not actually irritated, but like I feel like I'm thinking about how my face feels, like on and off every now and then.
yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, it wasn't a great start to the day, but Easter overall was wonderful.
Yeah,
How was yours, Chris?
I had a great Easter.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
So I think this Easter is like my first like real Easter, if that makes any sense. Like kind of like from a biblical perspective, like mindset perspective, I feel like really in tune with Easter this year. Kind of like it actually has some more meaning to it, like
Yeah.
on a personal level,
Yeah,
meaning
yeah,
to
yeah.
it. Because like it's always been like the day Jesus rose, but it's had like more personal level this year. And so like hearing like a good message, and it wasn't like a lift me up message, like, oh, Jesus reigns. It was kind of like a like live your life because he reigns, you know, sort of
Yeah,
thing,
that's
because
cool.
he lives. And so that was really cool. Unfortunately, I had a baby in my ear. There was a baby sitting right behind
I thought
me.
you were gonna say a baby in your arms, and I was like, do you just hold random babies at church like
No.
often?
No, there was like a family who I felt bad for because I think they were new,
Oh,
and like they got second row middle.
that is actually
So like they
awful.
couldn't like, and like right as the service started, like kind of maybe 5 minutes into the sermon, the dad comes back through with the baby because I think he might have left at the beginning or something. I'm like, and he's like, sorry, excuse me. I was like, oh, I
Oh.
feel so bad for you, dude.
I'm sorry, but I don't think people should bring their babies into the service. It's very distracting for
No,
me.
they shouldn't, because like I would be like listening. I'd be like, yeah. Like in my head, I'd be like, yeah, and then I just hear, mama.
Oh my gosh.
Mama, it's Queen. And I was
I
like,
cannot. No.
I was like, oh, nice. No, wait, what? Hang on, what?
So distracting. Like, I know sometimes, like, you have, like, when kids are sick, whatever. Honestly, just stay home if they're sick, though. But,
Right.
like, it's so distracting when kids are in the church and they're just, like, talking. Or, in our case this morning, screaming in the front row. But,
No way. No way.
yeah, there's just, it's fine. But
It's okay.
it's fine.
So, yeah, it was a good Easter. I think, like we had a worship night on Friday night and then worship night tonight, too. Dude, it was so cool. Like, it was, like, super energetic and, like, you could feel, like, that everyone, at least, I don't know what was going on behind me. I was in the front row. Everyone that was at least in the front row was, like, feeling it. And I know that, like, the back row people probably were, too. Like, on Friday, I was in the back because I got there late. And, like, everyone was, like, into it. And it was, like, super cool. And so after I left, I was like this was the first time after worship was over, I was like, I missed that. Like, it was so cool, like, to be like, we were all like worshiping God at the same time and like just speaking truth. And I was like, man, I like missed that. Like, I want that to still be going on.
Cool.
And so that was really cool. And so like it was a great Easter, and then got to watch the Tigers play. They won. I've been super enjoying the Tigers. I'm so happy that they're back on and playing
How
well.
long have they been playing for?
Since Thursday.
Oh,
3 games.
Yeah.
They're 3-0.
I've
Yeah.
been just loving watching the
And I
Tigers for
have.
their first 3 games back.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the whole game yesterday, but today on Sunday and on
It's
Thursday,
happening outside.
someone's revving their engine, dude. On Thursday and on today on Sunday, I sat down and watched the whole game.
Wow.
Yeah,
I cannot wait to go to a Tigers game. I love
gonna
going
be
to
so
Tigers
fun.
games.
iconic, if you will.
It's iconic every time.
And so
Yes.
I think this is by far my best Easter, like, religious standpoint.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like once it, like, I do think worship has a big part of it, because when we were going to this one church at one point in my life, like, we had the best Easter. Like, the worship was so good. Not like, I don't know, like, I just think when worship is really good and you can just, like, the words, like, really, like, you can identify, like, Easter through it, like, when they're
Yeah.
really talking about, like, what happened on Easter and everybody is just, like, worshiping together, it's very apparent. And sometimes it just hits you like, oh my word, I cannot believe, like, Jesus did that for me. And it's just, like,
100%.
so big on Easter, like, because they really talk about, like, how he died for you and rose again, and it's just, like, that is, like, all of what you're singing. Like, you kind of just keep, like, repeating that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I think it's really cool, especially if, like, the worship is really good and just, like, I don't know, like, everybody is just, like, worshiping God together. I think that's a really big thing. I think worship is where I connect with God, like, really closely. So
100%. I find it a lot easier, like I like reading my Bible on my own, but then, like, that's probably like 1B, but like 1A is definitely like worship, and then like B is probably like listening in church.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't sit with me. Like, sometimes I'll just be like, my attention span. Sometimes I'm just not there. But like worship, I'm all in, and then like reading my Bible, I'm all there. And then sometimes on Sunday morning, I'm like, I'm not all there. But I feel like
That's
a lot of
fair.
people can relate to that.
It's
Yeah,
easy.
yeah.
It can be easier to get distracted in that,
Yeah.
for sure. Bless you.
yeah, I do
Excuse
not
you?
like sneezing. I'm
I don't know
really
if-
sad I
did-
sneezed on the
it was a sneeze.
podcast. Yeah, I sneezed. Sorry.
It's okay. No need to apologize. We're a sneeze friendly pod.
Yeah, I thought today's message was good for Easter.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he did a good job of talking through the story to make it like characterize the story. You know what I mean?
Personify?
Yeah.
Personify the story.
Personify.
I like when people just, like, walk through scripture, like, what actually happened, because
Yeah.
you can, like, it feels really real. Almost like
Yeah.
how they did when you were, like, a kid and they, like, walked through the story. I wish people did that more, because that's what he did this morning, and I felt like it really, like, kind of, like, put you in the mindset of, like,
That was even his analogy at the beginning.
What's that?
what
Was
it?
how, like, as kids, like, kids are always asking questions. Like, they're like
Oh,
questioning. But, like, as adults, we still have questions, but do we always ask them? Or, like, are we as, like, open to ask them? Or, like, do we get them answered as much? So he used that analogy in,
Yeah.
like, the beginning.
Kind of like the childlike faith. Like
I
how
don't know if he
you're
ever
at a
said
kid,
that,
you always
But,
ask the question.
yeah, like, kind of implied.
Yeah. Do you find it like that's a good thought because do you find it harder like being older like asking questions because some things it seems like or about the Bible specifically because some things it seems like you should know them. So like asking about it is kind of like I probably should already know about that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I did in school, but now I don't.
Okay.
Like when I was, and I would say if I was still in school, I'd feel the same way. Like I would definitely would still feel that way.
Yeah.
But I think because I'm like out of that and kind of doing it on my own, like I realize that I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And so like before, I have this like app where I can like scan like the page of the Bible I'm on and it gives me like references and different stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And before I like saw that there was like a video section by the Bible Project, you know those guys?
Yes, I love that.
And I was like, oh, why would I watch that before I read? Because I need to learn like while I read. And then I was like, that's stupid, dude. I can actually understand what I'm reading if I watch the video first.
Those are so helpful,
they're very
especially if you're
good.
gonna like
They're
study
so
a
good.
whole
Very good.
book.
Ah.
Like it really breaks it down, and like you understand the context of what you're reading. I think that's like so important. I love those videos a lot.
They're top tier.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there a question?
There
yeah,
was.
Yeah, I had a thought about that.
What was your question,
yeah,
though?
I think it is. There's like two things. I think one in general, it's not common to ask questions. So when you do, not even just biblically, but like when you do, then people are like put off by the fact that you're not just like assuming an answer. Sometimes I've experienced that. And then two, with school, like where it does not apply to real life, how there's like one right answer for tests and stuff like that, then there's not like one right answer. So like when you're looking for the one right answer in life and like you're asking questions that are just like looking for the right answer instead of like asking questions like just to learn. Like, so I think it can like make you not want to ask questions because if it's like, oh, I don't know what the right answer is, or like, you know.
Yeah, it's not a right answer life we live. It's a like figure it out sort of thing.
And it can be tough to ask questions that way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice. So, what was your best Easter? Would you say it's this one?
Yeah, I would say so. There was a good point. He talked about Thomas at the end, and I really liked that.
Doubting Thomas?
Yeah, Doubting Thomas.
Put his hands through the...
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, it was a really good Easter. Like,
Great Easter.
Yeah, like it was cool because we went through like the death, burial, and resurrection. Like there'd be like we would read like a passage about it, and then we would like sing songs about like a couple songs about like the death, and then like we did the same thing for like the burial and the resurrection. So like it ended with like it was like really exciting because like we were talking about like the resurrection, and it was just cool because like you kind of like got to think through the whole thing. And I love that about Easter because I think like a lot of times people like talk about the gospel and like obviously like, you know, as a Christian, you know, like what Jesus did for you, but Easter really brings it back to like the specifics because a lot of times we're like talking through different parts of the Bible. So it's not like we're always coming back to like what exactly Jesus did for us. Or I think sometimes we talk about it so much that it's just like becomes normalized. So like really thinking through each thing he did for us today was really cool.
So something that's pretty cool. I started reading. I don't know when I even started, but I started reading the Gospels. I don't know when it was. Like maybe December. I don't know. But like I started in Matthew and I'm in John now, and I realized on Friday when I opened up my Bible, it was like Jesus' final prayer before he got arrested, and I was like, holy crap. You're telling me when I started this in December, from whenever I read it was normally like one day, a chapter a day, like the days I missed, like everything all led up to on Good Friday, I read about the death and like today, if I were to read, so probably tomorrow, so tomorrow I'm going to read about the resurrection on like Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
Like that's like supernatural. Like that's not me. Like that was God's plan all along. Was like I was like, whoa, like I'm reading like all the days I missed every
really
single
cool.
day. Like like it just all ended like with me reading about the resurrection on the final gospel on the day of the resurrection. I was like, wow, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Good Easter for sure.
Yeah, I find the Bible, like when that happens a decent amount. Like when you go to read it, it's like, oh, it applies today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
But
think
that
it's
is
like
cool.
a coincidence. Like I feel like God works
Yeah.
in those ways. Because
100%.
when we were, this is like side note, but when we were on our trip, we like went and got coffee one morning and did our devotions together. And what we read was genuinely like we both needed it so much. Like it was so cool. So
Yeah.
That's big
it's
time.
really cool when God does that.
I had one this week when I just opened up my Bible and it was in Proverbs and I just was like, okay, let's just read this then. Because I just opened it up and I was like, man, I hit the spot today.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
For sure. Did you do anything this? Oh, you kind of talk. You're done officially dog sitting. You kind of talked about your
we are done dog
crazy
sitting.
experiences last week.
No more puke, throw up, burst.
So glad you got
It was
that.
all good.
Yeah,
It was
truly
great.
traumatic.
It was a traumatic experience, but we made it through. We made it
Thank
through.
goodness.
We're done there. We are almost done with work.
It's the final week.
It's the final countdown.
Wow.
One last ride. And it's March. Almost April.
Correct.
Tomorrow will be April.
I thought it was April today, and as I wrote on like in my church notebook, Henry scribbled out the date. I feel really protective over my note. Like luckily,
like it has to look
being sacred.
luckily I had only written like Easter Sunday and the date.
Could you imagine? I waited till the end of church and like scribbled it out.
I would have probably just like slammed my book shut. Honestly, not a good attitude for Easter. Sorry, but like Henry will sometimes just like kind of like draw, and it was a different colored pen.
Do you like bring a bunch of pens? Like
No, I only bring one. That's a bunch of pens is a lot, but I bring like my Bible.
Does someone else in
and
your
my
family
notebook.
bring a bunch of pens and like
Livia
a
only
couple
brings
Bibles?
a pen and a highlighter, so it's not bad.
Okay.
I think like bringing too much to church is a lot. It's like I don't even really like carrying my Bible and the notebook, but it's like
Yeah, normally I have like a smaller notebook that I take to church with me, but I had my big one and my big
your
Bible as
spiral?
well. Yeah, I had my spiral,
Oh,
and
jeez.
I was like, why am I bringing this in? I didn't even use my Bible. Yeah, nor did I use that.
It's okay.
That's
I normally just look at Henry's Bible, so I don't really know why I bring my Bible. Like, it's too much
True.
to have my notebook and my Bible open. Like, it's just a lot of things. Anyways, I just had to say that. Sorry,
It's
babe.
okay.
I had to call you out.
It's fine.
So the Final Four
man.
set in March Madness.
Oh, I don't even know who the last winner is because
we have
I can assume
we have UConn and whoever they're playing.
Alabama.
UConn, Alabama, Purdue, and North Carolina State
Wow,
Wow.
are
they
in
beat
the
Duke.
Final Four. They
That
beat
was the
Duke.
last team I had.
Duke.
Yeah.
Okay, so in first place right now we have them set. It's ESPN fan 943 repeating. I don't know who that is.
Shout out to you though.
And second
That's
place,
first.
but their winner is out, so they can no longer. They're champion. They can't get points. They had Illinois winning. In second place with Purdue winning is JL66. And then in third place we have UConn winning with Johnny P. That is our top three right now.
Wow.
So yeah. In third place, ESPN fan tie, and then fifth place we have Drake ! With UConn winning. So yeah, we got a lot that could happen.
Nice. We got three great leaders right now.
Yes.
In running for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I haven't really been watching because baseball. I'm really excited about baseball.
Wait, you've
season,
been
guys.
watching baseball over March Madness?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has annoyed because the last 2 days I've come home, baseball's
Like,
been on. I'm like, March
Basketball
Madness
is
on.
almost like
Yes, I wasn't watching baseball yesterday. That was
I
me.
wasn't pointing that at you. I was just saying the
Oh.
TV in general.
Oh, because I wasn't home yesterday.
But Friday,
oh yeah, that's kind of
What was
sad.
Friday?
Like
when I got back Friday, baseball's on the TV.
Oh,
was like,
I
March
did.
Madness is on.
Yeah. I walked into the house on Friday. I was like, oh, nothing on the TV. I'll turn on the baseball game.
baseball's a big thing
But
at this house.
I don't know why, but this year
It's
I'm just
good.
so excited for it.
Yeah,
I think maybe because I have a lot of hope that the Tigers can actually do well. Like with basketball, I also had the same thing with the Pistons where I wanted to watch them every night, but then they lost 30 straight games.
I
so
really thought
stopped.
they might be better this year. I was like, ooh, maybe just a little bit better than you.
Yeah.
And literally the worst they could possibly be.
Worst ever.
Oh man, the Pistons. So
That's
sad.
okay.
Maybe the Tigers will come through. Probably not, but
With the bracket, I had like the first like maybe 7 or 8 games like perfect, and I was like,
yeah.
oh crap, oh man, I did the bracket too good for my own challenge. Like I don't want to win the
Oh
own
my
merch for the Young
gosh.
Bucks, and then like straight down the mountain after that, like awful picks. So don't worry about me winning the merch because
Yeah.
it's not happening.
So I'm currently in second to last, and Henry's currently in fourth to last.
yeah. So it's okay. It
Not
worked
bad.
out perfect.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I had the same thought you did. I was like, man, I should have done this good for the bracket challenge. I should have put it in one of my other ones.
Oh my gosh.
Then
How
the
many
rug got
brackets do you
swept
normally
under.
make?
So normally I'll like just mess around with a lot of them because I enjoy just like tapping through and just picking random matchups. Like this year, I wanted to take my time and like look at each matchup and like figure something out. Dude, that was my worst bracket. That bracket I
literally,
took the most time
you just
on.
like took so much time and
Yep.
it was terrible.
Like I over like the course of 2 days I did it because I like I stopped and then I did some at work and then I didn't do it till I got home. Then I did some at work the next day, and then the rest of them after I knew all the teams in them I just randomly filled. I only did 4 this year and then I did a women's bracket, which my final 4 is or my Elite 8 is correct right now.
For the women's bracket?
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty easy?
No, yeah. I
Because
looked
I
at
looked at the first round and there was one upset.
So Sweet 16 there was 2 1 through 8s, I think a 1 through whatever, and then there was like an 11,
Yeah.
and then I think there was a 9. Like that one. So like there was 2 upsets in the whole. Yeah, and that's how women's bracket goes.
Typical. This has more airtime than I would like to give it, but
Okay,
Yeah,
no.
next.
You need a get off that, dude. Come on now.
Okay.
Caitlin Clark
okay,
is
we can
legit.
settle something here because Belle mentioned a great point to me, which I then like kind of opened my eyes to where I can articulate what I've been thinking.
Okay.
I just want to mention that I hate women's basketball and I played. So,
Go no.
sorry.
I like
But, so
Caitlin
like
Clark.
this comment from me was not like you need to love women's basketball. I just need to say that before you go. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. Like Caitlin Clark is not hyping herself up in an unvalidated way, but the people are.
Yeah.
So like the sports broadcasters, the basketball podcast, it's inflated. I feel like it's inflated. Like it feels like someone is paying them to talk about it.
Okay.
Not like a genuine like if we were to get on here and talk about like the 2016 NBA finals, we could do so like with the enthusiasm, the knowledge, like we could do it.
We could
And
do it. We could do it.
You could just tell by the way we were talking about it that it was genuine. Now, if it was about the 2023 WNBA finals and we had that same energy, you would know for a fact that we were paid to do it because there is no way that we could do that. But it is the same thing. And so that's what I feel.
Okay.
So I don't have a problem with her being good or saying that she is good because I think she's very good. I mean, the threes that she was hitting was crazy, and especially that like a girl is doing it. I think that's cool. But it's the attention and the way that the attention is given to her that is like disgusting to me.
Okay.
And can we say about women's basketball, like the NBA has to support the WNBA. So like honestly, let's just eliminate professional women's basketball. Let college basketball be
Should we
it
just
for
merge 'em?
girls. No.
Oh.
No.
Merge what?
Like the WNBA and the NBA.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
dude! I was
Just-
like, wait, college
I
basketball.
was
and
trying to
the
skip over
WNBA?
it so that we didn't have to talk about it. But it's like I just think like let's just let like college basketball be it for girls because college basketball, like girls college basketball occasionally can be like fun to watch. Like there's been a couple teams that are like
Caitlin Clark,
UConn.
UConn for however many years they won so many.
There was a
straight
really
games.
good Mississippi State team, but like for the most part nobody
Good poll.
Thank you.
Great poll.
For the most part though nobody really cares. But it's like, you know, for college, like I think girls should be able to play in college if they want to. Like that's fun. Nobody is watching the WNBA. So let's just like end it. Okay?
I was
Like
planning to go to some Indiana Fever games when Caitlin Clark gets drafted there.
you were not.
The fact that he knows it's the Fever too is like
It's only because I listen to Pat McAfee. because they have the number 1 pick in the draft.
Oh, okay, that's
and
fair.
they're
That's
from
fair.
Indiana.
That's fair.
That's the only reason
Have you
I
seen
know.
that video? I think it actually is Indiana, where this guy goes around the street and he says, "What's the WNBA city team in this city?" And like
that video is so funny.
They can't name the team.
And it's outside the arena.
yeah, that's good.
Oh, that is so good.
So I had
gosh.
no, I had one wrong in the Elite 8 for the women's bracket, and then yeah, I have my Final Four could work out if Iowa wins.
I made 4 brackets. 2 of them
It's tomorrow.
2 of them
Iowa LSU
had UConn and 1 had Alabama, and they're all 3 still in. But the rest of the stuff is like awful. But
for your
like
bracket
so
challenge?
the champion could be one of the 2 teams that play each other in the Final Four.
Nice, dude. Go you.
I had North Carolina and Duke in the finals, and that's what I really wanted to see. But
That's
they're both
okay.
out. I'm just kind of sad. I don't like the way that it's going, but it's fine.
There was not as many upsets as you might have thought. Like in the bracket, like
I didn't think there was going to be a lot. My bracket was going so well, and then
just bad. Because last time when we did the last podcast, we mentioned you because you
Yeah.
were top 3.
I was going to win the merch.
She
Well,
was
there was-
Belgrade's 22.
That was me. But unfortunately, I am now. But I think I'm like 1 spot above Henry, maybe. So like 5th to last. It's not good.
I don't know, but in the Elite 8 and the Sweet 16, I think it was about 50% upset. It's like half the games were upsets in those 2 rounds.
What's really fun is
I mainly meant
Like-
first round upsets. There was like 4.
Oh, that's what I'm saying is like, so the people who had brackets like hers were like, it was like the
Good.
regular stuff for the first
Yeah.
round and the second round was cool. Other than Oakland.
because we were talking about like it seemed
Nobody
like
had Oakland.
we should have just gone for them.
I know.
But like it
Jack
really
Oakey.
seemed like when you were looking at stuff, it was like there's not gonna be that many upsets. You know, so
You are
it
1 spot
started
above
out
Henry.
good.
Go you.
Yeah, we looked at it today.
I also will say I had no idea Clemson had a basketball team until like filling out this bracket.
The only reason I picked Clemson was because my uncle like lives right by there and loves it. So shout out to you. But
I thought Vermont was going to make a run.
Vermont.
We can
I did
Vermont.
not
stop
know.
giving Vermont some airtime.
Sorry.
Their top 10 defense.
Okay,
like,
what
so-
about James Madison? I also thought James Madison was going to have a run, which they won their first round
I
game,
game.
thought
honestly.
But
out
they
of
lost
all
to
the
Duke.
12 seeds, and it's unfortunate they went against Gonzaga, but I thought that McNeese team, I got duped by the coach because
Everyone got duped by the coach. It wasn't just you,
that
dude.
clip.
There was some random teams.
McNeese though, babe, they last year were awful. And this guy, did he used to coach at LSU?
LSU
He came from
got kicked
LSU
out. or
to
something.
this team, and they went 31-3 this year.
Oh wow.
Like he turned that team around. I was like,
he said
bro, they
there's
might
no way
go-
we don't win 30 games this year or something like that.
wow.
Or like we will win
before the
25
season.
games.
Yeah,
That's
before the
kinda
season, he
crazy.
predicted it.
Yeah, he was like, we'll have the opposite. I think they went like 6-26 or something. He's like, we're gonna have the opposite record this year or something like that, and then went 31-3. And then no, it wasn't just you that got duped, bro. Like when I like was reading through, like people were saying like McNeese is the upset team for this year. Like
Like they could be the NC State of what's going on right now.
dude, freaking this happened.
Had I
like,
ever heard of
2 years
McNeese
ago.
before that?
No, not a
shot.
chance. But no, it was crazy because like 2 years ago, South Dakota State Jackrabbits won they went 32-1 in their
Yeah.
league, and I was like, they only lost like a game, and I was like, shoot, dude, they're gonna just absolutely crank. No, you never pick the teams that do that well in the bad teams. Like you never do that, dude. It never works. It's okay.
it's fine.
Yeah.
March Madness. It's madness.
So we'll find out our winner next week
Yeah. Any
or 2,
next week.
because I think the championship game's on a Monday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is.
So it would probably the episode will come out before.
I was gonna say, oh, this happens every year, but it is on a Monday every year because I was thinking last year you guys had to wait to talk about it.
You know what
week
I
after.
love is because normally, or not normally, but my fondest memories of being in Florida is it'll always be the first couple of days of March Madness. Like it's happened a couple times when we've
It's
been
so
down
fun
here.
to be on a spring break and get to
Oh.
just watch all the games.
No, that was so
Oh,
fun, and then it
so-
happened this
so
year, and I was
good.
like, just gotta watch them normally.
Sadness.
After work, get home, I'm like, I gotta watch the game.
Might as well turn on baseball if we can't
my
watch it in
gosh.
Florida, honestly.
But it just got me thinking. I was like, now we're going to be in Florida with no March Madness.
Man, so you're going to have to go to the beach.
I guess baseball can be on
Man.
freely.
True.
How much TV would really be on in Florida, though?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Belle, you have anything to say?
I don't. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Henry?
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been good to be back.
Whoa.
I feel like more of a guest now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? What's that behind you? Do you see that, Henry?
Is that the announcement that episode 100 is next week?
Oh, wait. Episode 100 is next week, guys. We got something big planned. And I hope you guys hope you guys will tune into it. We're going to do something very, very special for episode 100. It's in the works. And so we just hope you enjoy it.
I thought of something. Comment on this, on the Instagram, anything you can if you loved having me on this episode, because then I'll come back.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it went really well.
I was waiting. I'm so sorry. Okay.
You thought it went well? I think it was a good episode.
Yeah.
We shouldn't do this on the episode, but Belle, I'm really happy you came on. It was a great
Thanks.
episode.
Thanks.
Yeah. Cool.
So wait, you see that thing behind the camera?
Oh, that's the stop sign.
Oh, and
yes.
speaking of stop signs, Belle didn't know that's how we ended our episodes.
Yeah.
I
who
do
knew?
now. I wanted to say it. Speaking
Oh.
of stop signs.
And now, speaking of stop signs,
Yes.
you want to close us out?
Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in on episode 99. I'm so glad I got to come on, and that I'm Henry's fiance now, so I'll be back.
I'm happy about
Welcome
that
to
too.
the family.
We'll eventually be recording the podcast at our house, so that will be fun.
Cannot wait.
So excited for that day.
cannot
Very
wait.
eager.
That's coming so much
Episode
sooner
1.
than later. So I'll be back maybe on the first episode there.
Yes.
And
Or next week.
or for episode 100,
thing.
you never know. So,
I'm just kidding.
tune back for episode 100. Love you guys.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace out, y'all.